And we're getting into it this morning. This Tuesday morning, Dennis Toleseto and Joe Kamanya, as we get into the show today. Yes, our live streams are back up and we should be on Easy Street from here. And thank you for being here, our audience on KTN as well, as we tune in around the country, the region and the world. We'll have these conversations as we do every morning. They asked the question and the answer is yes, he's here. In fact, one Julius Malema, during the funeral of Winnie Mandela, said, "They're here, Mama." And that is a line akin to what one member of parliament for Sabot constituency, Amisi, has been saying. And he's here. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
Yes, I'm here.
We were starting to think that we had done something to you, or that you just didn't want to be in the situation room, or what. The people want to understand.
And there are situations that could not guarantee my presence here, but nevertheless, I'm here. Mm-hmm. It's never too late.
Indeed.
We can now talk to the nation. Yes.
Kabisa, karibu sana. As you know, we're going to ask you to interpret a proverb as we get into the conversation this morning. Dennis, take it away.
Yeah, so today we're in Mali. A country that is rich in gold, to a point where at some point during the empire of Mali, one person, Mansa Musa, was considered to be the richest man in the globe because of the vast amount of gold that were in his presence. Today, however, you look at Mali, the war, political instability that is in the country, and one asks the question, when will they just learn to take care of what it is they have, fix their issues and become that great country that once was? But the proverb that I get this morning from Mali: a fly perched on the scrotum is gently nudged off, never struck. How would you interpret it?
Yeah, there are situations that does not need rough approach. There are things that you can solve through diplomacy, rather than the anarchical approach. So as the saying goes, of course, the sensitivity of a scrotum. I think you and I knows very well that that is an area that is a bit sensitive, and of course, proverbs emanate from parts of our body, but they're interpreted differently. And the simple interpretation of that is that there are situations that you have to approach keenly, and you use diplomatic way to solve. And if you try, using some other means or applying energy, then you are the one to lose. Yeah.
Well interpreted, well said, Asante.
Okay. So where have you been?
I've been around and within. Yeah, looking at the politics as it evolves and it changes every time. Yeah.
But significantly missing from a number of rallies, meetings, convergences, presses, the things that happen amongst the Linda Mwananchi team, who for the beginning of it, we saw you then very vibrant and involved. Where have you been?
Yeah, we not all soldiers are deployed to the field.
Some are in the kitchen or in the chapel?
Not in the kitchen, definitely. We are left in the barracks to direct.
Okay.
And actually, warn them whenever there is some rough terrain ahead. And you say, yeah, I can see on the map, this is not, the weather is not good. This terrain is a bit difficult. Please divert or retreat. So there are always those soldiers. Not all are field marshals. Some are house Negroes. So I'm the house Negro.
Oh, really? Does the field marshal know that you're the house Negro?
Yes, they know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, the house Negro, okay. Well, what an analogy to go by. Because then it would mean there is a master behind the house
absolutely.
Negro.
Yeah.
And I think when you look at now these formations of because we are approaching rapidly the ballot.
Yeah.
In a year and a week, Kenyans will decide who becomes the next president and what political formations form the next regime, which you've been very vocal around. You've been saying we need a renaissance. which means we need a fresh, new beginning, new thoughts, new energy, new trajectory on how we run our own country. Currently, you are a hired man. People of Kenya have employed you to represent. But as we said, in another weeks, 40 weeks, people go for party primaries. So those coalitions will be important on how people align. When you look at it today, various corners are speaking different languages. You hear people saying there'll be a 2002 moment, or if you're not careful, you're going to have a 2007 moment. And others like yourself are saying we need a fresh new beginning. Which way to go? What are the considerations we must start looking at as we organize and reorganize politically and these political vehicles? What are things should we look at? Is it the legacy politicians, which utterly you have rejected? Interestingly, you even had a candidate in Olkalao because you stand for something. So what should we start looking at as Kenyans for this renaissance to be birthed in the coming vote?
Yeah, first of all, on 11th of August, that is next Tuesday, I'll be launching a people's movement. A people's movement that will clear all these legacy politicians out of our sight. A people's movement that will birth in new leaders, that will give up a platform for young, imagine, not necessarily young, but young in terms of not having been in the political space, new faces that can drive a new agenda. This generation is a bit uneasy. Our generation are looking at leaders who have been there for quite some time, and there is no change that you can really infer to them. It is not bad to be in leadership for long, but what is it that can be assigned to your name? What is the legacy that you left while in leadership? If you go to Saboti,
right,
they'll tell you they never saw classrooms being built until Caleb came in. They'll tell you for the first time there is an education program that serves people so well, and that's the reason why they re-elected me, devoid of tribalism, despite my party, ODM, not being the predominant party there. My tribe being minority, very tiny minority of just less than 500 people. But I was voted in by the Kalenjins and the other Luyas, mixture of Luyas and the Kisses and the Luos and the Kikuyus and others, devoid of tribalism. Is because that you've left a mark. There is something that can relate to your leadership.
And this is your third term?
This is my second term. And I thank you for wishing me my third term. It has come prematurely. And they can tell you that for the first time we've seen something around the leadership, as opposed to the past leaders. The same case at the national level.
Right.
There are leaders, for example, when I followed Baba, it's because I saw his struggle for the country, being imprisoned for 7 years, not because he has stolen somebody's chicken, but because he was fighting for democratic space in this country. He fought for the new constitution. He was part of the people who championed for devolution that Kenyans now have come to appreciate. There is something alongside that name. When you look at other names, and the reason why we rejected Ruto is that I watched the Ruto's time in politics. Since Moi's time, he was a minister in Moi's government. Nothing to his name. He was a minister for agriculture, minister for education in Kibaki's government. Nothing to his name. He was a deputy president for 10 years. Nothing to his name. That is the reason why I rejected. That you cannot be in a position of high authority and there is nothing that people can write home about you, or something major that you revolutionize. That's why I rejected it. Now, today, we are asking ourselves, there are leaders who have been in leadership. They must really convince us that while they served in Moi government, while they serve in Uhuru's government, while they serve in Kibaki's government, there is something that they revolutionize for us to believe that they can be part and parcel of the change we are demanding now. I don't think if those statements should be construed as lacking disrespect to them. I said we respect them. There is nothing about abusing them. We are just asking, you've been in this position for quite some time. What is it that you've done for us to also believe that yes, you hold something to allow this country move forward? And every generation has faced a situation.
Right.
There was a generation that woke up one day and they decided that the colonialist must go.
Yes.
That generation was led by Jomo Kenyatta, Bildad Kagia, Dendan Kimathi, Ochenga Neko, Harry Thuku, Paul Ngei, all those the Majimaji not Majimaji, the Maikatilile wa Menza, of course, somewhere Koitalela Arab somewhere, Mbingu Mwindu wa Mbingu from Eastern. They were all from all corners of the country, and they said no. Enough is enough.
Yes.
The colonialist must go. We must get independent. Independence we got. Kenya is an independent sovereign state.
Correct.
We are not fighting for independence of this country. Now there was another generation that came and they decided now we are independent, but we are under one party rule, and that is KANU. There is no space. There is no breathing space, democratically speaking. And they said, no, we must expand our space and become a multi-party democracy, multiplicity, pluralism. And they fought for it. Some were in prison, some died, some are still having their scars of liberation. We are talking about Charles Rubia, we are talking about Kenneth Matiba, we are talking about Jaramogi Oginga Odinga. They won that war. It is a call of their generation, and they won. We are now a multi-party state, including the newly formed People's Renaissance Movement. Otherwise, it would not have existed today.
Okay.
And then we had a third liberation that said, okay, fine. We are now self-ruled. We have multi-party democracy. But our constitution is still archaic. It is still has some aspects of autocracy. We need to have a rule of law,
right?
That answers to the international space according to the rules of international governance. And they started fighting for a new constitution. We had Kibaki there. We had Raila Odinga there, very in front of that war. We had, of course, Uhuru and others. Orengo was there. And we have a new constitution. They won that war.
Yes.
We are now, devolution is there. We are not fighting for a new constitution. What is the call of our generation?
What is it, according to you?
Our call for our generation is economic recovery. Why were people in the street? Why did the young people decide that finance bill must go? They didn't say colonialist must go. They didn't say we need a new constitution. They didn't say we need multipartyism. They said finance bill. It is not answering to the economic situation of our time. So the call for our generation is economic liberation. That's why I say Kenya needs a renaissance, economic renaissance.
We talk about economic recovery, and when you talk about economic recovery, we equally have to talk about economic injustices that have been meted against the people of Kenya. So we look at the corruption, we look at the debt question, we look at the cost of living that we have today. And with that, then we have to look at individuals who've played one role or the other for us to end up here. What I'm hearing you say, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that those who have been given responsibility that have messed up things cannot again be given the responsibility of fixing that which they messed up.
Correct. You've gotten it correct. If you are in school, I'll have given you an A+. Because you are a fast learner.
Do you think then that is the realization of Kenyans across the country, that moving forward then we can't do things the same way?
It is only a stupid person who does the same thing the same way and expecting different results. Listen what the youth said. They said tribalist. They said partyless. They said leaderless.
Right.
Why don't you go back there? Why are you returning the country to tribal cocoons? Why are you now telling us you have to take this person with 2 million votes add to this person with 3 million, add to this one with another 3 million, and they make a government. Is this the reason why Kenya is stuck to where we are? Is this not the reason why we went to fight each other in 2007 because of tribal animosity?
Right.
Is it the reason why Kenya are stuck here because few leaders have gotten hold of their tribe and they use it to negotiate for power?
But now, rightly put, they are reorganizing. Yesterday, we were treated to a presser whereby a coalition in the name of Azimio, chaired by one former president, Uhuru Kenyatta, held their meeting, and they came out and pronounced themselves on how they'll be recruiting more parties to form a coalition to oust the regime, the outgoing President William Ruto. My question is, you've rightly put it that what we need is an economic liberation, economic renaissance, for us to adjust the cost of living for everyone, for us to better the quality of life for every Kenyan, not for some tribe or for some sectors of the country, for everyone. These people, when you look at them, for a long time they have been the coalition of the deputies, because most of them were deputies. Then they became, now they've added on, they impeached. Then they became the alternative government, the united opposition. They keep mutating. I've not had an agenda that they are saying, this is what we stand for. The biggest agenda we've had from them is that Ruto must go. And that is not for them to decide, because when I see characters like J.B. Muturi, he was supporting President William Ruto. Now he's no longer there. But when he was still in office, Kenyans in June 2024 said, Ruto must go. When you hear the Azimio reaching out to the DCP party leader, you wonder, the DCP party leader was the impeached deputy president, was a deputy president when Kenyans were saying Zakayo Ashuke because the taxes were too high. So it is like a collection of the people who have been rejected over time that now want to come together and convince us that their chairman, the president, the former president Uhuru Kenyatta, can give us a better option than his deputy that he had for 10 years to run this country. Are we being hoodwinked? And how do we deal with these legacy politicians? Like you said, some have been in government, like Alonzo for the last, he said not 50, but 40 years. But there's nothing you can associate him. And I'm picking them because these are people who are coming out to claim a tab at the presidency. Are we being hoodwinked? And if we know what we need is economic liberation, if they don't stand for it, what should Kenyans do?
Kenya seems to have accustomed to these leaders. So much so that when you try to argue differently, they say you are a mole. You are been sent to disrupt the status quo. You've been sent to cause disunity.
Yes.
In the opposition. Nobody wants to be questioned. Nobody wants to be criticized. And, I'm just telling them, allow Caleb to criticize you so that to save the country from another mess. Because Ruto is going.
Yes.
That is no question about it. Ruto is going home. What we are discussing now is a person to occupy that seat next. And they must allow people to question them. They must allow people. It's like an interview.
Yes.
We have already agreed as a nation, Ruto is a wrong president. The whole country has agreed is going home. What we are discussing is who is going to occupy this seat so that we do not enter into another Ruto presidency. Then we start going to the street and they're singing so and the so must go. And I'm warning them.
Right.
That it will be very easy to come back, to get this power, because the whole country wants to give somebody. It can even be any Tom, Dick, and Harry on the street. But I'm just warning them. If you do not allow Caleb to give you a warning shot and criticize you so that you correct early, a 1 week after swearing in, kuweka tu Biblia chini, so help me God. Na unaweka Biblia chini, people will be on the street telling you to go home. I'm warning them. So they rather listen to us. They rather listen to because there is a generation that has woken up and they are questioning. It doesn't matter whether Ruto goes home. Even the one who will occupy that seat, he will face the same wrath. In fact, it will not even take a week, because you will be you are carrying the hope of a whole generation to change the mess that Ruto has done. Now, if you do not want to be given even ideas on how you are going to change this mess, and you don't want people to question you, you want just to carry your tribal cocoon. You are telling me, forget about carrying a tribal cocoon, forget boxing us. Somebody is telling you, and to mobilize kule wa lawyers, usipigie kelele hapa, how many lawyers are you bringing to the table? That is exactly where we want to go out from. That is the reason why we said we are a tribeless. That's the reason the Rek Masai was killed on the street. Don't we respect these young people who sacrifice their life for a change? Why are we dancing on their blood?
So what exactly is the warning, Amisi? What is the warning? And to whom? And who is it to?
The warning is to every boss, every person. I don't want to vie for president today.
Okay.
Mine is 2032.
Okay.
And I'm preparing for it.
Yeah.
I war to those who will come to compete against me because it will be fierce. I'm just trying to warn any other person who has presented himself to be a president in 2027 that you remember the volcano is still active. The Gen Z volcano is still active. It can erupt on you badly. So you do not just come and smile and think people love you so much that you are the best person on earth, and you are this darling that people just want you to be a president. No. People are responding to a dire need.
Yes.
And if you do not fulfill that dire need, it will not even take you 1 week in office.
So
they will come and remove you, and it will be very embarrassing.
Let me just get clarification.
So what I'm saying is that they must be singing Ruto must go with an agenda.
So who are you talking to?
Any person who has, there are people, there's even still more people coming to be present to vote.
Linda Mwananchi?
Any person, Linda Mwananchi has not even proposed for president.
Okay.
So nobody has come up to say, I'm vying. And Linda Mwananchi is a Nivuguvugu, is a movement. So
let me just, because you said essentially that the movement that you came up with is what essentially birthed Linda Mwananchi, right?
That's true.
So, okay, we see you on the periphery. I mean, you can say you were, in the house. But the question is here, it seems like you're telling the folks that maybe you're kind of with or not with at the moment, you're telling them that to be very careful, because there's still a chance that President William Ruto can come back if they don't get their act together.
Exactly. Don't bring a president where people will now start asking for Ruto to come back. It has happened in the US.
And the reason why somebody gives a warning is because they may have seen something that can get you into that direction, right?
Yes.
So are you seeing that perhaps the decisions they're making about who could be a flag bearer then has a skew somewhere?
It's true. Because, of course, when I started the Kenya Moja, and when I say I started this movement, have you ever had anybody come to contradict?
Not
Just
yet.
call any person from Linda Mwananchi and ask them, is it true that Caleb started the movement? I started the movement in my own home, in Kitale. I hosted every person you see in Linda Mwananchi except Orengo and Osotsi. Any other person, I hosted them. The agenda was that people do not want Ruto, but they are not excited by the alternative opposition that we have. We need to excite these people. We need a new face. And I particularly chose Edwin Sifuna because he is our contemporary. We are in the same age. He has not been a beneficiary of the old order. He excites the young people. He kind of understands that we need a new order. And of course, he may not be perfect, but for now, he is one among equals. We are of the same level, but at least he's one among equals. And I chose him to lead us. So the moment we now been told now Gachagua is our flag bearer, will now that excitement continue?
Will it, from your opinion?
It will not, because remember, he also belongs to the same government that was a mess before we came on the street. So he has to come out clearly and say, now, nobody will refuse regardless supporting him. I mean, as a person who is seeking for elective position, any person can support you, whether he's a mad person, he's a what, he's a tribalist, every vote counts. So we are not saying now, you know, when you try to say we want the flag bearer to be this one,
right?
You seems like you are accusing the rest. No, we just said for us to achieve the call of our generation, the leader of the movement must look like the movement, but the rest can support the movement from behind.
Would Kalonzo be a reflection of your aspirations?
Can we hold that so that we can take a break?
Okay.
And you can think about that question while we're on the break, because it's a Kalonzo question. It has come up. Caleb has already said very clearly that the names that are being floated and that where everybody seems to be in this kumbaya moment is not going to work. He's sending out a warning this morning. And then maybe later on you can tell us whether, if you sent out the warning and it's not been heeded, does that mean Caleb exits? Talking about movements. And Joe, with your question?
Oh yeah, we were looking at the faces that are portrayed today at the front page of the Standard. And you said the impeached deputy president cannot offer the excitement the country needs for the renaissance. And when we are asking about the experienced senior counsel, Kalonzo Musyoka, whether he hits the mark for you.
Yeah, now, first of all, the united opposition has not come up with a presidential candidate so far.
Yeah.
So we assume all these that have been projected on Standard are a potential flag bearers of this movement. Because I'm a proponent of new ideas, new beginning, I'll favor Sifuna, for example, not because he comes from Western. People, when I favor Sifuna, they think it's because he comes from Western. Even if he was coming from Coast, he will still fit into my idea. And should he also go astray, we will rebuke him accordingly, because this is our contemporary. The only emphasis we have is that there is a call for a generational duty, a call for a renewal, a call for a rebirth from tribalism, a rebirth from economic regression that has faced this country, a rebirth from a very retrogressive politics that we've been playing around. And we are saying, if you've been a beneficiary of all this cabal that has existed since Moi's time, then you do not carry the wherewithal, you don't carry the enthusiasm, the charisma that will drive a new movement. And that is not to say you are incapable. We are just saying, can you allow the young people drive the agenda of their generation, just the way the Mau Mau allowed you the second liberation to carry the agenda of their second liberation. Those who fought in the second liberation, they allowed the third liberation to carry the agenda. Now, if you participated in the first, second, and third liberation, allow this generation to carry the call of their duty of the fourth liberation, economic recovery. And we are saying, if you've been part and parcel, we are not even accusing Kalonzo, we are only saying, can he support a new person? Can he support a new face? He will still have achieved whatever he wants to achieve.
But don't put your name for presidency. You support someone else, Kalonzo, for example.
Exactly. Okay. Do not put your name for presidency, but say, okay, we've had our time as a generation. We want to give these young people also a space to fight for their chance.
But then, Caleb, there is also the challenge that does exist, and we'll just go back to 2022, where Raila Odinga was seen as Uhuru Kenyatta's project. And through that, many say that Kenyans rejected continuation of Uhuru Kenyatta's government through Raila Odinga. You know, many say Raila Odinga lost that election because of Uhuru Kenyatta's support. As we look at even the meeting that happened yesterday, and Uhuru Kenyatta then being looked as being the determinant factor on who then becomes the president, many say the same way Kenyans rejected Raila Odinga in 2022, the same movement, including Edwin Sifuna, might suffer the very same problem of being rejected by Kenyans who will say, we said no to Uhuru. We'll equally say no to you because you've been captured by Uhuru Kenyatta. Is that a concern?
It's a very big concern, and that's why when I speak contrary to that, I'll be called names here after this studio. I said he has been sent by Kasongo. Sometimes I wonder what really Kenyans want. They want change, but when you tell them this is the right way to go about it, they will still recoil back to the old order, to the status quo. Now people are so used to these names that when you try to even correct or even criticize, you will be branded like a person who has come to destroy. I said, the reason why I said these people did not understand the assignment. The assignment was these young people were not excited by these people. They wanted something new. Even if you are to support them, don't support them from in front. Just sit at home. If you have some coins, just pass to them to go around campaigning. I think that is a duty to a recognized leader like Uhuru. But when you are on the front page like this, because what Kenyans, there is what you call perception. If the people see Uhuru there is like he's a presidential candidate, because the rest looks like they are supporters. But the image of Uhuru is the one that is looking like he's the one vying.
He's calling the shot.
and the politics is driven by perception. So already this one is perceived is that we are going to have Ruto versus Uhuru. So this one already is foil, because people will be forced to choose between two evils, and they look at who is a lesser evil. What if Ruto becomes a lesser evil? So so we are going back to the same thing, and I am telling them, you are driving this thing. That's the wrong way. This thing called Azimio. What is it? So, what is Azimio now? I mean, there is no ODM left Azimio. Long time ago. According to us, Azimio is a failed coalition. Because it never had a binding agreement, nothing in terms of agenda binds us together. You can't just come out with a conglomerate of things and they say, because we do not have a coalition or another coalition, let's try this. This is removing William Ruto is not removing William. It's not something you are trying to test. It's not a guinea pig. You must be very intentional about it.
Are you saying that should this coalition of Azimio continue to form as it is, your party will not be forming that formation, even though they're even calling on Linda Mwananchi to join the formation?
Yeah, Linda Mwananchi is not a party.
Are you saying your party will not be joining Azimio?
We will want to know who is the flag bearer.
Okay.
Yeah. If the flag bearer is Edwin Sifuna, we'll be there with him. So and even if he's Kalonzo, he'll have to really commit that, number one, the bad manners of the past regimes are gone. This is some agenda that he wants to do that is, it is in tandem with what the party stands for. But as it is, we are going the long haul. I said on 11th of August, we are launching a people's movement that is going to bring new leaders, not just at the executive level.
Right.
Remember, you can have Kalonzo as a president. Maybe he's a good man. Maybe he's not corrupt. Then he gets a rogue parliament. What can he do? So we are also saying the parliament, as it is now, must also be changed. And the movement, part of what the movement is going to do is to ensure as many new people come to parliament as possible.
Now, in shifting gears, I am perturbed by the idea that the next presidency must be determined by a boardroom meeting somewhere in some corner. And yet, the majority of the stakeholders are the voters.
Yeah.
That we, the people, we, the Kenyans, are the one who should decide. Actually, we'll have to go to the ballot to actualize that decision. If these boardroom meetings are not speaking to the economic crisis we are in, is there room for us as Kenyans to decide whom we will want to be a people's candidate based on the need that we want addressed? Why are we talking about who will be the president when we have not defined what we want them to come and address critically?
Another wisdom detected. I think this room is full of wisdom. We need to expand it and share this wisdom to the rest of Kenyans that are struggling out there. It is, as I say, it is surprising that people still think that Kenyans appreciate a president that has been cooked somewhere and presented to them. Kenyans want something. You know, even when Obama moved the crowd and they said America must change, it was not a boardroom decision.
No.
It is something he planned for. You see, I see people walking up between huyu na tuchague nani, nani ako na kabila kubwa, nani ataongeza hii. That is not how you choose a leader. Obama, he even wrote a book in advance in America too. And he convinced Americans. We needed that Obama moment, devoid of boardroom. And I'm warning these people. Somebody somewhere can even come up. We have 1 year to the next election. They should not think Kenyans are now devoid of options. Somebody can come. It can even be a radio presenter like you. It can be a musician. It can be even an athlete. He can come up and rally Kenyans and remove all these people from the site.
Okay.
So they should actually know the Article 1 of the Constitution. The power belongs to the sovereign power belongs to the people. The sovereign power does not belong to the boardroom decision. It belongs to the people. That sovereign power is still active and it's still there and it is still being held by the same people. They can erupt one day and they chase all of you because they have been fed up by all these boardroom things or making coalitions, trying to put this tribe against this tribe, and even and you can see my tribe in Saboti, there are hardly 500 people. I won with 25,000. This thing of tribalism is a game played by weak leaders. When you hear somebody hiding behind a tribe, he is so weak that he cannot convince another tribe. It's like, you know, when you are family members.
Yes.
If I present myself to be a president of Kenya, will I go to convince my family member? Let's just see, this is our son. You don't even need to convince them. But to convince another family, you must have something that even their son do not have. So tribalism is a game played by weak leader. When you see somebody hide behind a tribe, just know you are caught in a weak leader. You must have the capacity to convince beyond your tribe.
Okay. So you said that also in a few weeks, I don't know if it's months, that you're going to be
on Tuesday,
right? Next week, that you're going to be recruiting people into a movement.
Not recruiting. This is not a Mshwari campaign. We want
So what is it?
This is starting a movement.
So it's starting another one.
Not another. Movements can start anytime.
Okay.
You remember, we've come from Azimio. We had Sufuria Revolution.
Yes.
We left.
Movement.
We came Tawe movement.
Yes.
We are now in Linda Mwananchi. A movement can come anytime, anywhere. But remember, a movement that will come close to the election, it will sweep everybody. Will be in the streets.
Okay.
That is a movement that will. It's not also movements have times. Okay. You can't be on the street for too long. The people get tired. But a movement that will come closer to the election, it is going to sweep everybody.
And what is the thrust
timing now? The thought is that it is a movement of new people who believe that we must be moderate. We must not be extreme. We must go to an election without saying, you have heard the way leaders are trying to drum the tribal war. Yeah. You just find a leader wake up one day and say, if you are from this community and you vote for 2 terms, you will do this. The other one will respond with another clarion call. If you are in this community, that is now trying to cause tribal war. And remember, tribal war is so convenient for a regime that is in place. Because if people fight during an election, who remains the president?
Okay, but I'm trying to so I want to, it was just for clarity's sake, so that we don't have people muddled here, that you've supported the idea of Edwin Sifuna because of the fact that he resonates with people and that he doesn't have anything beyond a love for the country, and to ensure that the rule of law above everything else is sustained. Does this movement, this particular one, then go in line with an Edwin Sifuna leadership, or is it straying away from that?
Edwin Sifuna leadership is still alive.
Okay.
The only problem that people have gone into Linda Mwananchi and they try to muddy muddy the Sifuna. But the Sifuna as a person is still there. He can join another movement and still erupt. But the Linda Mwananchi, as you can see now, the way Orengo will go and they'll look for Aisha. Now you wonder if these people were removed from the government and Gen Z said they must go home, then you bring them back to a new liberation, to the same thing. You are discouraging them. You are so it has been muddied with people who want self-interest. They want to achieve some goal. Remember, people don't join the movement because they love you. In fact, you might find I'm the only person who loves Edwin Sifuna in that
and
moment.
That's why. So these people, sorry,
because they want to join so that they can. Some people have to go home, but they want to lean on something
so that they don't go home.
So that they don't go home.
And could that not be the same reasoning for all of the people in this picture except for Edwin Sifuna?
Most likely, there are some people who want to preserve their names for some time, and of course there are. I really have no problem with some of them. Because you see, you have also to give to them. Longevity should not be a crime, but is when you are in leadership. What did you do? What did you do? Yeah, we can even have an old man as a president now. I mean, now even supported Maraga. It doesn't mean that you must be young, but it's that when you are in leadership, when you are in Supreme Court, you nullified an election. There is something to your name. When you are in the position of leader, there is something you did for the country.
But should it turn out that your preferred presidential candidate turns out to be a project of the former president,
then we will leave him on the street alone. Because we don't want also projects. We want projects of the people, because projects of individuals can be brought to satisfy the interest of that individual. So if we recognize that you look like a project, you quack like a project, you swim like a project, then you will walk alone.
So one asks the question then, if I'm just going to ask the question directly. When you started the movement, you and Sifuna were close, pretty much going across the country talking to Kenyans. Over time, we've seen you kind of stay away from these meetings that have been there. And one asks the question then, when Kenyans identified with the movement and saw this as the alternative that they want, as the future that they want, do you think that as we speak right now, Linda Mwananchi has lost the plot by seemingly courting or being in bed with those that Kenyans have said no to? And how does that then affect the movement moving forward?
We cannot condemn Linda Mwananchi now because it is still sailing. It's just going through turbulence and the waves. The storm is strong. We are just worried that the storm can actually sway it away on the shore. And just as we are saying, they must steer the ship clearly from the direction it started, the direction it was shot from. And we are just also being apprehensive that we do not also fail to achieve the call of our generation. So this is a caution. It is not saying condemning that the movement has lost. No. Going through turbulence does not mean you'll not reach the destination. You can pass through the turbulence and arrive at the destination. But if you do not control the ship so well during the turbulence moment, you will definitely go astray. So that is a caution I'm giving. I'm the beginner, the founder of this movement. There was an idea behind it. Please, let's be careful. People who come in, there can be people who have been sent to destroy it. I mean, we have heard these people serve in the same cabinet.
Trojan horses.
Trojan horses are always there in politics. Yeah, they are decoys.
Correct.
They send decoys, and you think they are singing in your song, only to direct the movement in the wrong direction. And I remember these are some of the people. Surely, if you've served with Ruto in the same cabinet, don't you think you can also meet together again? And we have seen the same bad manners when we follow some person and before you realize there is breaking news, alafu the supporters ndio wanaanza kusema I'm heartbroken, nini baba, why did you do this? We've been there before, only for us to see breaking news at the steps of Arambe House. So, and there is always a common line. Just be careful of this common line. It's almost coming. That we do this for the sake of the nation. That line is coming. Just watch this space. There is a line that they are fond of using. that the nation is bigger than all of us.
Like
we are going to do this for the sake of that line is coming very soon. You will see it.
Even the 2000
and that is the reason why we are refusing to go back to that line. Let us clear the nation once and for all, so that we do not do this again for the sake of the nation.
In 2007, for the sake of the nation, after people died and went to war, the three presidential candidates decided to form a presidency. Kalonzo became the vice president, and then Raila became the prime minister. And yet all the three of them were on the ballot. So for the sake of the nation, we find ourselves, as you're saying, making decisions that have already costed us, not just economically, but lives. So can we have for the sake of the nation moment before the election and not after the election, so that we are able not just to save lives, but also make organized governance that will appreciate the rule of law as we have it today according to our constitution. And talking of constitution, I would want to ask you, as a lawmaker, there is a Presidential Retirement Act whereby a retired president should not be a leader of a political party. Today you have Uhuru being the political party leader of Jubilee and the chairman of the Azimio. How do you speak to that as a legislature?
Yeah, of course, Uhuru, I do not mind Uhuru playing politics. Former presidents that are politicians by nature, they say one's a scout, always a scout, therefore one's a politician, always a politician. His blood could be boiling to play politics. That is his constitutional right. I also do not see the need for him to continue becoming a party leader. It can be a patron, for example, because a party leader of a movement, it means you are at the head of that movement. If an army is going to war, you are the commander. So you are taking this army to war to win. You cannot win a war as a general and leave it to a junior now to take over. A general who wins a war means he is taken over the territory. So if he should not be in front, it should be a role model behind. It should be guiding. It should be telling guys, I've been this terrain. Don't go this side. It should be offering guidance from behind. I'm not telling him to keep off politics. I'll not tell him to keep politics. He should do politics. But for the sake of the nation again, can he play it from behind? Can he just meet in boardrooms? Can he not come out in, whether it is through a WhatsApp call or a chair meetings? Because then it is construed, and the politics is perception. It is construed that all these people are not project of Linda Mwananchi. In fact, after this, if now we try to go and fundraise from Mwananchi, they'll tell us Uhuru will give you that money.
Wow.
Okay? Yeah. But we were supposed to be given money by Kenyans, not Uhuru.
He's a member of parliament for Saboti constituency, he says, elected by 25,000 people, from a community of only 500. So he's brought down that ceiling in terms of what needs to happen. Tuesday, another movement.
Tuesday.
So we can't ready for Tuesday. We'll see and wait and see what this is all about. But he's sending out a warning this morning and saying that you can't do the same thing the same way and expect different results. It's one that we wait to see. Thank you for being in the Situation Room this morning. And we're glad that this time you were with us. Asante sana.
Thank you very much. And I'm very happy that you are ready for Tuesday.
This is the Situation Room, the only